G'day everybody, my name is Elliot Waters and you're listening to the Dysregulated podcast. As always, thank you for tuning in. Alright, well, it's New Year's Eve, it's 26 minutes past 11 at night, midnight is fast approaching, so I'll get in early. Happy New Year's everybody, I hope 2025 delivers where perhaps 2024 didn't. That's at least the story for me. So I'm not going to do some big, go through everything that happened, the highs and the lows of 2024, all that sort of stuff. But I do feel compelled to do an episode here at the end of the year to sort of shepherd in the new year that's coming, 2025, which I tell you, I hope it goes off with a bang because, I don't know, I guess the way I would describe the last couple of weeks, but this whole year in general, has just been such a grind. Just limping towards the finish line. I don't know, 2024's felt like I've been treading water and haven't really been going anywhere, but man, it's taken all my effort and energy to do so. And I'm hoping 2025 will be a bit different because hopefully I'll be launching. Instead of just treading water, the plan is I'll be launching, and I'm talking mostly, when I say that, career, jobs, that sort of thing, to really sort of change the direction of where I'm going. But 2024 was pretty monumental. It was, the start of the year. I was in hospital again for a couple of weeks at IJMU. Some great episodes come out of that time there. And the sweats and the panic attacks and the severe waves of depression, that was all, I don't know why I'm laughing. That was almost a weekly sort of weekend feature. It happens so often this year. If I think about 2024, I just think about sleeping for 3 days at a time, checking out of life, and then having massive panic attacks, and then trying to pick myself up, get back to work full time, doing a job that maybe isn't as sustaining as I would like it to be, and then just keep on pushing on. It was a brutal year, brutal. Like at least every fortnight, I was having one of these 2-3 day massive depressive anxiety attacks. And everyone took it out of me, every single one. And it got to the point throughout the year that I was very scared for the weekend to come, and I was trying to do all these different things to try and avoid falling into that sort of abyss. Plenty of episodes I've spoken about it if you want to go back and listen. But those moments were hell, and there were a lot of them this year, unfortunately, and they were a big problem because I kept thinking to myself, if I'm getting a new gig, if I'm going in a new direction career-wise, I can't afford for these sorts of spirals to be happening. But hey, that's mental illness. You don't pick and choose these things. It tends to do it to you, and unfortunately, a couple of them have picked me. So 2024, it was really brutal. Like I said, treading water is what it felt like. It felt like I didn't really move anywhere, but man, the effort it took just to stay in place and not get washed around by the current of emotional turmoil, it was huge. It was huge. And I just think, I could say this about every year, but 2024 in particular, I just felt so tired, which maybe makes sense with the whole, when I'd have these 3, 4, or 2, 3 days of the sleeping and all that sort of stuff. Fatigue was a big part of my year. And I don't know, without going into specifics too much, because I don't want to go into specifics because there's plenty of episodes I've done this year, if you want to listen to them. But one of the main takeaway points was just this fatigue. It was brutal. Even winter. Getting up at 4 a.m. in winter this year was just, I don't know, it was just so painful. It was a very, very difficult year because if you're dealing with some negative emotion, that tends to amplify the negative effects of everything. So I find that when I'm in a sort of depressive sort of, downward spiral, I find that things like, dare I say, the weather, have a really big bearing on how I'm feeling. So the cold feels that much colder, the dark feels that much darker. And it's just, so when I think back at 2024, there's just a lot of those moments where it just felt like I was hanging on for dear life. And, it was like I was in the 15th round, and Rocky, getting pummeled in the corner, still standing saying, come on life, bring it. But at the same time, getting pummeled in the corner. And I feel like that's what this year was very much like. just getting pummeled, not going down, I might add. Or if I did go down, I got straight back up pretty bloody quickly. Let me tell you right now, Eye the Tiger, thank you very much. But still, it was a very taxing year. 2024, I wanted, I guess, two things to happen, which is probably what I've wanted for the last how many years. This is a theme that has gone probably throughout my whole life, especially my adult life, which is the two main things was the career. I wanted to get the career on track that really felt like, my meaning and purpose was really galvanized towards whatever this career is, which I'm still trying to do. And the other thing was to come up with a partner of some description. So if we're going to measure my success of the year of 2024 along those two lines, well, didn't go particularly well on either front. But at the same time, there's still this optimism. I don't know, there's something about 2025. I feel like I needed this year to really dig in, get some traction, and just ride it out. But I feel like I've ridden it out now. But I know for 2025 to be really successful, or at least, a lot of it's perception with me, so at least to make me feel like it's successful, I need some of those early wins. I talk about early wins, during the day, get some early wins in the morning to set up the day. Well, it's a similar sort of concept, I think, this time, but for the whole year. I need to get on the board early. And to do that, I'm going to have to push this anxiety aside. There's no two ways about it. This year, well, yeah, no, it is. This is a big statement, but I would say it's make or break in many ways. Make or break. I don't think I can have another year treading water. It'll send me insane, more than I already am. But at the same time, it's very daunting because the things that I'm trying to achieve are huge bucket list items on the life journey. This is big stuff. It's not like I just want to buy a new car. This is career. This is, my future, if I'm going to share it with someone or not, because I'm still trying to figure that out. What the options are there. There's a lot of question marks that I'm hoping 2025 will have the answers for, because I need the answers. I've been looking for these answers for a long time. And at some moments this year, even recently, I felt like I'm as far away from the answers as I've ever been. But at the same time, there's just something about this year. I just feel like, as tiring and as taxing and at times disappointing and just really dark this year has been at times, especially towards the start. So it's good that, things sort of improved as the year went along. I got a bit more of that hope, sort of that flame sort of flicked up again of hope and inspiration and looking forward to the good things coming up ahead. But I don't know, just part of me, and I can't really justify this or provide any tangible evidence, but there's just this feeling I've got that I needed a year like last year, which was I was in hospital, I was having those massive panic attacks, super big meltdowns, but throughout it all, I stayed stoic and kept my eye on the prize, even if it felt like I was slipping further and further away from it. But I don't know, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because it's New Year's, I don't know, but there's this little spark, this little bit of inspiration that says, hey, 2025 is going to be a big year. Get ready, mate. It's going to all happen. And it better bloody all happen, because I'm seeing Oasis in 2025, and you guys know how much I love Oasis, but, there's a lot of pressure because there's no two ways about it. For me to get to the United Kingdom in July and see Oasis and fulfill that dream, there needs to be some changes that happen first, and one of them is job. It is my job. I need a new job. There's just no two ways about that, and that's a huge change. But it's all linked. It's all a chain. And if you change one thing, the next thing drops in, and then, it all scaffolds from there. That's the plan. But there's no two ways about it. I look at what's coming up ahead in 2025, and I just can't see anything but big, significant, massive changes. It's all happening. And it has to. It has to, because I'm sick of doing episodes like this at the end of, 2022, 2023 and saying this year's going to be different. We didn't do this, didn't do that, but this year's going to be, talk is cheap, as they say, and there's no two ways about it. I think I've said that a bit. I need to really confront this anxiety, and to be honest, I need to just sort of accept it, I think, and just be like, you know what? I'm going to go for a new job and it's going to scare the living daylights out of me, but that's part of the process, and that's better than the idea of flailing around and just treading water again, because let me tell you, that is a very scary idea. I do not want that to happen again, but I know in saying that, for me to turn that around and make some significant real changes in my life that will bring a happier life, I'm going to have to confront some big fears. And there's a lot of fears I've been working on in therapy, but that's going to have to continue because I'm not quite there yet. My sort of goal was that get to the end of the year, I'd be ready to go, launch, righto, new job, let's go. But I'm starting to think, and this isn't shocking by any means, but I'm starting to think, or more so, I'm starting to accept this idea that there is no right time. There's always going to be anxiety when it comes to thinking about the big significant moments in life and how to achieve them and all the things that go into it. I don't think I can get away from that. And I need to learn a little bit more to embrace the anxiety, not the real extreme stuff. I need to continue to work on keeping it within a manageable level. But, I say in my Black Dog presentations a lot that, if I wasn't getting anxious before these presentations, which let me tell you, they scare the living daylights out of me, another thing that does. But if I wasn't getting anxious before these presentations, that would tell me there's something wrong, because what I'm trying to do is create a conversation around mental illness with some, and offer some insights and opportunities for learning. And that's real big, significant, like real life sort of stuff. And if I'm not getting anxious before undertaking a huge challenge like that, trying to connect with an audience and really drill into, parts of the human psyche, and not just the good parts either, but the good parts as well. That's a significant pursuit no matter which way you cut it. So I should feel some anxiety before it. That's a given. And I think I need to sort of expand that idea across different multiple domains in my life. And instead of trying to shy away from the anxiety, just embrace it a little bit and think, no, the anxiety is telling us that we're doing the right thing. This is actually a good sign, as much as it hurts. So let's try and embrace it as much as we can, because it is a good sign. So anyway, that's just a little thing I was thinking of this afternoon when I was driving around, seeing everyone getting ready to party for New Year's. I've had my big sort of party. I am limping towards the end of this year. I'm so tired. Christmas was hard. The family was over for Christmas, and I was having another of those sleeping attacks. Didn't have the sweats this time, but I was still in bed for 2-3 days, and it was a nightmare. But, I don't know, it's hard. I get this impression sometimes that people think that I'm just doing this on purpose. Let me tell you, I'm not. There is nothing more than I would like to do, that I would have liked to have done, is with the, hanging out with my family for Christmas. But unfortunately, I don't know, I've been so tired, I've been pushing so hard. But yeah, what I really needed at the end of this year was a bit of a break. But unfortunately, working in retail, there is no break. I had like Christmas Day off, big deal. I work Christmas Eve, I work Boxing Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day's tomorrow. I'm working tomorrow as well. Retail's hard when it comes to wanting some time off and getting a breather over the Christmas break, because there just is no Christmas break. There's no such thing in this world, which is why I'm pretty committed to this idea that this could well be the last Christmas of mine in retail. I think I've done my service. This latest stint with Bunnings, who have been great, but with Bunnings I've been there for 8 years, coming up to 9 years, which is pretty big whack. And then my first job out of school was at Target, which was another retail establishment. I was there for 4 or 5 years. I've done retail. I feel like I can tick that box. And it might be time to now finally go into that mental health sort of area. But how that's going to eventuate, I don't know. But the moral of this episode is that, well, 1, I'm tired. 2, there is a bit of hope. And 3, I've got to embrace that anxiety. That's the plan. Anyway, it's now 20 to 12. I better go and cheers to the new year. I don't know if I sound really flat, because I am so flat. I am feeling so tired. This last month has been so difficult. But hey, you just got to keep on trucking, don't you? You got to keep on trucking. So anyway, thank you everybody who's listened this year. I really appreciate it. I can't believe that people listen to me waffling on. Thank you so much. It's really amazing. Every year, I sort of get to the end of it and think, man, I've done a few episodes this year. And they haven't always gone to the happiest of places, but people have held on. How good's that? People have held on. And the word seems to be spreading, which is awesome as well. So thank you to everybody who's tuned in and listened. I hope you will continue to in 2025, because I'm determined to have a few more good success stories to tell. I'm very determined to make that happen. And I'm going to Oasis in July. Can you believe it? I'm going to Manchester to Oasis. Like this 2025 is going to be huge. There's no two ways about it. Because if I don't achieve what I'd like to achieve, that in itself will be huge. Not in a very good way, although you'll be there with me every step of the way. Thank you so much for the support again. But it is 2025. I can't sort of overstate this anymore. It's either way it goes. If it goes good or bad, it's going to be significant. It's going to be big, life-changing. Anyway, yous are all coming with me. So thank you very much. Hope you have a good New Year's. Thank you for listening. I need to go to bed because I tell you, I'm getting too old for this. Anyway, thanks guys. Have a good one. And I'll see you soon here on the Dysregulated podcast.